2023 has been a busy year for us cozy gamers, but with so many choices out there, I wanted to challenge myself and rank the ones that I played to see which ones I would recommend you buy. Hello you gorgeous human being, it's Miss Bubbles. Let's set the rules first. These are cozy games. They have no farming elements in them because these will have another video on their own. And the games in this list are new games that released in 2023 or they have received new ports, which makes them available for a wider audience. The video is going to be divided into separate tiers. We have the A tier, which are the games that I recommend, B tier, which are the games that I liked but somehow lost interest in them, D tier, which is for the games that I just simply cannot recommend, and S tier, so we can wrap up the video with my favorites and on a positive note. I'll also break down each game for you just a little bit so you know what you're signing up for, and hey, maybe we can get one of those massive amounts of games on your wish list into your cart so you can finally buy it and try it out for yourself. And it goes without saying, this is my own personal list, so my choices are going to be different than yours. This is not an attack on you or on the game because we don't do that on this channel, but this video is to invite you to share your own top picks in the comment section. So let me know which have been your favorite cozy games of 2023 and which are the ones that you maybe regret buying. Without further ado, squish the like button so we can smack the algorithm right in the face, and we're gonna start with our A tier list games, and the first one is Little Gator Game. Now this one was released at the end of 2022 but then received a port in 2023 so you can play it on PC, Switch, Xbox, and PlayStation now. The gist of it is that your sister is too busy, she's studying, while you're eagerly trying to get her to be excited to play with you. And while you try to get her attention, you just keep on failing. So you set out on a journey in this little open world island where you meet friends, old and new, and you complete their quests through mini games that are so varied and unique. The art style is so cute and colorful, and Mega Wobble, the studio behind it, does not fail at keeping things entertaining and giving you that fuzzy feeling of tapping into your inner child. This game would easily be an S tier game, but the only reason why it doesn't make it to that ranking is because the lack of direction sometimes, the lack of a journal, and a lack of a minimap kind of set me off a little bit, so I had to include it in the A tier list instead. Now we're gonna go back to our tier list in a second, but let's give a massive shout out to the sponsor of this video. Station to Station fits this video perfectly because it is a cozy game that I would recommend, and it's developed by Galaxy Grove and published by Prismatica. The game released last week and it's perfect for those of you who love a calming gaming experience, which also gives you the option to spice things up and bring on a challenge. Basically, you're building railway connections through a campaign mode, but you can also experience a custom mode where you create your own map and create railways in different terrains to your heart's content. If you want to just do whatever and you just want to experiment around, then you can try out the no money mode instead. Not only are you in charge of the railways, you can also use different industry buildings and city variants to add more variation to your levels. I love the fact that you can play this game in any way that you like, so you can cater your own experience to your own liking. And I featured it in my Cozy Games You Can Play in November video, and I was just gushing over how beautiful the voxel art style is. The developers are bringing free updates along the way, so you can expect new gameplay as the months go by. You can play Station to Station right now by checking out the link either in the description box or in the pinned comment, and if this tickled your fancy, then definitely check it out. Now back to our A tier list games. The next one is going to be I Am Future. This is the perfect combination of crafting and cozy gameplay mechanics in a post-apocalyptic world. While there are some farming aspects, I wouldn't consider this a farming game, that's why I still included it in this video. You'll gather resources and craft items to make your life on this abandoned rooftop a bit easier, but you also try to uncover the mystery behind how and why you ended up in this situation in the first place. There's always something for you to do, so I Am Future will not disappoint you in the amount of content that you'll be engaging in, which is insane considering that this game is still in early access. So I would expect it just getting better from here. The only reason it's not an S tier game for me is the fact that yes, it is an early access, it's still incomplete, and in my opinion, it's very unfair to have it in the S tier because once you see the games that made it to that tier list, you're gonna understand that these are very full, unique, complete experiences, so having I Am Future in there just felt a little bit unfair in my opinion. Up next, we have the DLC for House Flipper, which is the Pets Edition, and if you watched my 10 out of 10 Cozy Games video, you saw House Flipper make it into the list. Now, the majority of the DLCs for this game are not ones that I would recommend, but the Pets edition is definitely gonna be worth your time. There are a variety of pets that you can choose from and take care of, and you're trying to make them their perfect home to live in. And the fun part is that you'll get to see them age and you're gonna find yourself getting so attached to them. The only reason why this game is not S tier is because there are so many quality of life things that I wish could be added. Like, your pets just eat so quickly, so fast, and it's a little bit hard to catch a break when you're playing this one. Plus, there were a couple of bugs that did break my immersion in the game, so I had to place it in the A tier list. Now, the last A tier list game is going to be Little Friends Puppy Island. If you used to play on the Nintendo DS games like Nintendogs, you're gonna feel right back at home. And when I tell you, I just kept smiling throughout my whole playthrough, you just have to play it to understand what I'm talking about. You have different breeds to adopt and take care of. You'll be feeding them, taking them out for a walk, you're gonna be playing games, leveling up their skills, and to break the repetitiveness of things, you do have new areas to explore on this mysterious island, and you're trying to get to the bottom of a couple of mysteries that are happening. This will easily become a game that you enjoy in bite-sized sessions, and it's perfect for bed gaming. The only reason why it doesn't make it to the S tier list is because by the 6-hour mark, I kind of started to get a little bit bored and started to lose my interest in the game because things get very repetitive quickly in it, but also it's very worth trying. I don't know, maybe it's the nostalgia that I felt for this game is why I decided to put it in the A tier list. Now, moving to the B tier list games, these are not bad by any means. They're just games that lost my interest and didn't capture my attention as much as I would have hoped them to. And the first one is going to be Mask of the Rose. Now, this is a bit dark, but also cozy for some of you, because y'all apparently like dark. Like, some of y'all have been putting Dredge in your cozy games. I mean, we've had the conversation about what is cozy and what is not cozy, but anyways, if you like visual novels that tackle love, but also a splash of murder and some mystery, all unfolding in a fall in London, then this is the cozy game for you. You'll be choosing who you play as, and your decisions will change the course of the story, including your dialogue options, plus things like what you choose to wear at certain places. The characters are interesting, the story crafting is one that is very intriguing, so each playthrough is going to be completely different. While the premise is entertaining and the story can be interesting, I just found it a little bit difficult to get hooked on the game, and kind of like the story is just so slow paced that at one point I was just like, okay, I played enough. Bye. The next game is Lakeburg Legacies, and if you guys have been watching my upcoming cozy games, you know that I was so excited for this one. This is another game where you do have your romance because you play as a matchmaker who's trying to build a prosperous kingdom and managing the ins and out of it all. The art style is gorgeous. It's so charming, and let me tell you, this one does not shy away from dark humor. You're gonna have to play this game to understand what I'm referring to, but if you get offended easily, I think this game from the start is just not the one for you. I personally don't mind dark humor. If you know me in real life or you're around on my Discord, you know that I'm not the bubbliest all the time, but anyways, it's fun to matchmake people in Lakeburg Legacies. You can assign them to different jobs, and just seeing prosperity or chaos unfold in your playtime is pretty interesting. However, getting into it is very difficult, and I found the tutorial so long, yet I still didn't understand how to play the game most of the time, and I wouldn't say it's a skill issue, it's just very hard to understand, and there are plenty of bugs that had me restarting the game over and over again, and this eventually just put me off. Another game that's gonna go into the D tier list is Paradise March. This is a narrative adventure, and I hate putting it here because it's made by one dev, and you know I love indie games, I always support indie studios, but I just couldn't get into it at all. It brings you a procedurally generated world where you wander around, you catch frogs and other critters, and you go on a story-rich journey and meet quirky friends, and the game is all about taking in the ambiance and enjoying the music and the cute art style. However, I just couldn't get into the game. It uses a lot of poetry. I personally hate poetry, and I wasn't really intrigued in the story, plus the story just didn't really make that much sense to me, and I felt like the gameplay was just getting very repetitive very quickly, and I just had to put it down. And for that, I just can't recommend it, because if you are like me, you're probably not gonna like it, but then if you enjoy poetry and all the stuff stuff that I did not enjoy, then it's probably gonna be the game for you. And another B tier list game is Garden Inn. This one is also not gonna be in my farming list because it's not really farming per se, but let me explain it to you so you can kind of understand what this game is about. So this one has a sandbox approach where all you gotta do is design a small space with different pots and shelves, plant different flowers, and watch them grow while also trying to create some unique hybrids. The more you play, the more rooms you will unlock, and you do have to wait for the plants to grow, which I found a bit therapeutic. But to be completely frank, this is just about it. You don't do anything else, and I feel like the game just didn't offer me enough to keep me hooked. I got very bored within 2 hours and I was just done with it. So I really can't put it in an A tier list where I got a lot more hours from the games that I played there, or let alone S tier, which are like my favorite games of 2023. Moving on, we have Flutter Away. This is such a cute game. So here you're camping in a forest for a couple of days while you research different butterflies and plants. You also meet this cute capybara and you learn the mystery behind her. The gameplay loop is very simple and straightforward, where you take pictures of new species, you log them into your journal, you progress to a new day, learn a bit more, and rinse and repeat. However, I just couldn't really get invested in the game. I wasn't really interested in it. I don't know. It just couldn't capture my attention, but I also can't ignore how cute it is, so I just had to put it in the B tier. Tiny Witch is another one on the B tier list, and I'm kind of conflicted about this one because is it cozy or is it just pure chaos? I'm not sure, and I don't know, but let's talk about it. When I first saw the trailer, I loved how cute the graphics looked, and I usually love store management games. And this one is all about managing a minion store as a tiny witch, and you're trying to satisfy your customers. But when I tell you this game is chaotic, I am not lying. Like, consider yourself warned. It is so hard to keep up with everything, and it kind of stressed me the heck out, and I wanted to rage quit. Is it a skill issue? Maybe, but also I've seen other people play it and it's just really hard, and I don't feel like it's that cozy. But all I can say is that, well, Tiny Witch and I are not that close friends, but I also don't think it's bad to put it in the D tier list, so yeah. And up next we have Cuddly Forest Friends. We played this one on stream and we had a really good time with it. This is all about taking care of these cute little animals, and you have about 10 minigames to enjoy, which are definitely fun to play, especially for a younger audience. When you first play them, they're very fun, but they will get repetitive very quickly, and I feel like the asking price is my problem with this game. 30 to 35 pounds is a bit too much in my opinion when a game just doesn't have that much to offer. So when a game is asking for this much, I just cannot recommend it to you and feel okay that I actually did recommend it to you. Maybe a deep sale, yes, but otherwise 30 to 35 pounds, I would say no. Alchemy Garden is also in the B tier list, and this is basically a cozy slash farming game. Again, I didn't want to put it in my farming video because it would really be unfair for me to put it against all the other farming games that are going to be in that one, so I decided to put it in the cozy games. Basically, you run your own alchemy shop, so you gather ingredients and make your own potions to sell. You can customize your character and explore around the world and engage in some farming, and it's overall a very chill experience that you can get sucked into and be like, oh, one more game, and then, you know, it just carries on for a little bit too long. However, I have issues with the quality of life aspects where things like your tools just break way too quickly and it gets a little bit annoying. The economy in the game is just very unbalanced, and there's just a lack of depth into the game, so I ended up just wanting to stop playing, and for that I think it belongs in the B tier list. Next up we have A Little to the Left, and hear me out because I know this game has a massive fan base. If you love puzzle games, this is hands down the game for you because it's so minimalistic and it's so relaxing. You're basically placing things in the right order and the right position, and sometimes you have this like crazy little cat that tries to mess up everything that you're doing, so it's pretty fun to play. If you get stuck, the game has an excellent in-game hinting system, so it will help you figure out your way, and I always appreciate that because I hate playing a game where I'm on the wiki all the time and I'm not really playing the game. However, as someone who just hates puzzles, I just couldn't get into the game at all. So the game is not bad, it's just like not for me. And for that, I know like if you love puzzles, this game is easily gonna be an S tier game for you, but for me, and the way that I function as a human being. I hate puzzles, and I just had to put it in the B tier list. Chef Life is also making it to our B tier list, and if you're new here or you're old here, no matter what the case may be, I freaking love cooking games. I grew up with Cooking Mama. I love that game to absolute pieces, and Chef Life is another one that just gives me a lot of nostalgic feelings, which I'm a sucker for. So this one carries on a campaign about you opening up a restaurant and trying to get a Michelin star. You start with little ingredients and recipes and slowly learn more while you expand the restaurant, and I love how flexible the gameplay is and the room for creativity the devs give you. So you can even decorate the way your plates look, and sometimes this extra attention to detail just makes me favor a game a lot more than one that doesn't really pay attention to anything and is trying to be a rushed game. However, my playtime with it just got too buggy. When we played it on stream, things were fine, but the more I played it on my own, it just got worse and worse until I gave up on it. I don't know if these bugs have been fixed, but I can safely say that they ruined my experience. The game is so good. I really hope that the devs have smashed all the bugs and it's ready to play, because otherwise this game would have been easily in the A or maybe even S tier list. And the last game on the B tier list is Haven Dock, and I was kind of contemplating, like, should I put it here, should I not put it here, because it is in early access, it feels incomplete, but then I was like, you know what, like, I Am Future is in early access as well and made this list, so I think we have to just be very fair with this list. So this one is all about building a dock and gathering resources so you can craft and create a place for yourself and new people to move in and live. As you build your colony, you have different systems to manage and lots to explore and unlock, which is fun to get into. But my issue here is that the menu is just so clunky, and even the tutorial at some points was just very difficult to navigate and understand what the game is trying to ask you to do, and the AI can definitely get some work. It just feels like the NPCs moving in are just really dumb. Now, a lot of people swear by this game, but I can only speak for my own experience. As much as I wanted to love it, I did not have the best time with it. Moving to our D tier list games, I skipped the C because I was just like, you know what, just get into the D tier list, and then I don't want to say F because I feel like an F is just too harsh, so I chose D, and these are games that I just cannot recommend, and the first one is gonna be Paparazzi. While the premise is so cute, basically you are a paparazzi for pups, and you're gonna be taking pictures of them and uploading them to social media and just engaging in a cute little story. I couldn't get past the first 10 minutes. The game caused me so much motion sickness. I felt so bad playing it, and even when I tried to go back into it a few days later, guys, I just couldn't play this game. It just really messed up with my eyes, and it was just a terrible time to play. I feel like games like that, especially when it's in first person mode, you need more options to customize and cater the experience to your own accessibility, I guess. And honestly, I just couldn't play this game. And I know a lot of you on this channel always appreciate the fact that I do bring up motion sickness, so I feel like if you're like me, there's no way that you can play this game. And the next one is DLC for Animal Shelter. It's the Horse Rescue DLC, and oh my goodness, we played it on stream and it was a complete bugfest with horses clipping into walls. They were not cooperating, horrible tutorial, and overall a bad experience and a waste of money in my opinion. The base game is so fun, it's so cute, I love the base game. I just don't know what the frick happened with the horse DLC. It's terrible, and I would say like it's 100% skip for me. And the final game making the D tier list is Blooming Business Casino. I really like management games, and this one is about managing your own casino, so you get to build one from the ground up, and it also brings you a campaign where you find yourself in quite a pickle. You're trying to make money for some shady people, and it's pretty interesting. You have different types of items that attract different customers, and it definitely gets chaotic trying to keep up with everything. However, the number of times the game crashed on me is simply unacceptable. I reached a point where I had to restart the same level 5 times. It was just crashing, plus the bugs, like I would do the things that the game is asking me to do to complete a certain mission and it just wouldn't register it. It was a massive bug fest that I just can't recommend it to you. And yes, while it is in early access, I still don't believe that this is an excuse for a game to be released as buggy as this one was. Now let's wrap up with some positivity because we love positive vibes in this channel, and we're gonna go with our S tier list. And the first one that came into my mind straight away was Chia. I cannot explain how much love and passion the devs have poured into this one, and as you play it, you get to experience a fictional representation of New Caledonia, which is where the devs are originally from. You play as Chia, whose dad got kidnapped, and as she ventures out to find him, she realizes that, hey, I have some cool superpowers. I can control a wide range of items and animals, and they end up assisting her in the different quests that she's on. You'll take on quests from different villagers. You're gonna explore a beautifully crafted island and engage with the world by shifting from being yourself to controlling a dog, a deer, a lizard, and so on. And each animal will give you special abilities to assist your gameplay. The gameplay mechanics just all come together in a beautiful package that is 100% worth your time. I cannot recommend this game enough. Honestly, it is one of the best games that I played this year, and if you haven't played it, like, what are you waiting for? The next one is one that I've been waiting for such a long time. Like, I've even featured it on my channel, I think like a year or two ago, and honestly, it was worth the wait. I'm talking about Venba. This is a gorgeous cooking game where it takes you on a story of an immigrant family living in Canada, and as you cook different dishes from your family's recipes book, you'll witness the good, the bad, and the ugly of being an immigrant family. As a foreigner myself, right now in the UK, plus someone who has lived abroad in so many different countries, I even grew up in Romania for 8 years, I can say that I know a thing or two about living abroad and feeling like pretty much an outsider. So it was of no surprise that this game just brought me into absolute tears. The music, sound effects, animations, and visuals are so well done, and while it is a short experience, I truly believe that it is worth every penny. Now, I also wanted to add Potion Pyramid to this list. It did release at the end of last year, but it got a new update, I believe last month, and I think this makes it worthwhile. Like, try it in 2023, please. If you want to have a more in-depth look about what the game is about, I do have a before you buy, and I will pin it for you in the comment section, but I freaking love this game. You play as a chemist who moved to Moonberry, and you're trying to prove your competence after an incident that made the citizens wary of chemists. Basically, you have your own clinic, and you'll get clients who are injured and need your help. To cure them, you need to fight enemies to gather resources, then you come back and make different potions to cure the injury that you diagnose. There is a story unfolding in the background, and the game has some light puzzle mechanics and some mini games here and there that will require fast reflexes, but what I love the most is just developing my friendship with the townsfolk, and it just feels so rewarding. The update brings you new dateable characters, side quests, mini games, and events, so that's why I really think that I just couldn't make this list without putting it there, okay? The next one is none other than the Cosmic Wheel Sisterhood, and my goodness, was this game such a pleasant surprise to play. If you watch my video where I talked about it for the first time, I said Devolver Digital knows an excellent game when they see one, and this is no different. You play as a witch who got exiled and is trying to reconnect with her sisters to make things right. The thing is, she strikes a deal with an entity. I'm just trying to like not get into spoiler territories here, but she kind of gets herself in quite a pickle, and now she has the chance to create her own tarot cards. So here you are on this journey of learning why she got exiled, finding out new mysteries, making difficult decisions, and overall enjoying an experience that has so many different outcomes. It does deal with some very heavy mental health issues though, so definitely check out the Steam page to make sure that you're okay with them. If you're okay with these subjects, you have to try this game. I sat down and did my entire playthrough in one sitting, and I refused to get out of my seat until I finished it. The next game on our S tier list, coming to the Nintendo Switch, I was like, you know what? It's finally time to just sit down and talk about the game just a little bit. I mean, if the overwhelming positive reviews on Steam don't talk for themselves, let me try and give you a better look instead. You play as Dave, you go fishing during the day, and yes, you gotta know there is combat here, and it can be a little bit difficult, so please be aware of that. But then at night, you come back to your sushi restaurant, and it's one that you manage and you decorate and you have to take care of. But that's not all. You also have a story unfolding with lots of mysteries about what lies ahead in the ocean, and the writing is so good, you're gonna be hooked and you're gonna be like, what's gonna happen next? I need to know right now. I really enjoyed this game. I truly believe you need to give it a try just to understand how awesome this one is. Now, this was my list of the cozy games in 2023, but again, I want to know, what are yours? Which games did you love this year? Which games did you absolutely hate? Please share them in the comment section, but please also be respectful, because otherwise we're gonna have to get the ban hammer, and I don't like getting the ban hammer. Thank you again, Prismatica, for sponsoring this video. Remember, you can check out Station to Station. It's a really good game, so please check it out. The link is in my description box or the pinned comments. And all the love to my Bubbly and YouTube patrons who make videos like this possible. And a shout out goes to the games I mentioned, Karu, Jacob, Stephanie, Steven, Dark One, and Jake Logan for going the extra mile. Y'all are bubbly awesome. Till next time, stay bubbly.